All right, these are going to be my Week 8 NFL Power Rankings. Let's get started here. Starting off with our injuries, Bengals, Antonio Brown, and Geno Stone are both questionable. Browns lost Deshaun Watson for the season. Also, DTR, backup QB, also got injured. Sorry for this sound. I'm outside right now, but yeah, Bucks lost Chris Godwin for the season and Mike Evans for at least 3 weeks. The Chiefs lost Jalen Watson for the season. Aiden O'Connell is on IR for the Dolphins. Niners lost Brandon Ayuk for the season, so a whole bunch of different injuries going on here. Top performances of the week is next. You guys can kind of look over this yourself. I'm going to get out of the way here for you if you want to look at all of those. Other than that, we're just going to go ahead and dive in. Number 32 is going to be where did I put my guy? Sorry. Try to get out of your way here. Number 32 is going to be the Carolina Panthers. They lost this week 40-7 versus the Commanders, who were playing backup QB Marcus Mariota for the most part of this game. Andy Dalton did get in a car accident. He said he's okay, but he's not going to be starting this week. Bryce Young is going to be starting again, and I think Bryce Young is probably just going to continue to start. I mean, the Panthers are going to suck. You might as well give that backup or give that young guy Bryce Young another shot here for the rest of the season. And then if he sucks all season, then you 100% know that you need a different quarterback. Next up is the Tennessee Titans at 31. They lost 34-10 versus the Bills. Will Levis did not play this game. Mason Rudolph was decent. But Will Levis is supposed to be back and going to start this week. And they also traded away DeAndre Hopkins. He did not do a whole lot here in Tennessee, but he's still a good player for their team. Losing him definitely makes his team worse, even though they're already one of the worst teams with him. Number 30 is going to be the New York Giants here. They lost pretty bad, 28-3 versus the Philadelphia Eagles. They benched Daniel Jones in this game, but they said he is still going to be the starter going forward, which makes sense for me. He hasn't been bad enough to bench him quite yet. If he's bad here in Week 8, I could see them starting Drew Lock in Week 9. But overall, right now the Giants are not looking like a good team at all. Number 29 is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. They lost this week 20-15 versus the Rams, so not a bad game here. But Aiden O'Connell got injured, and Gardner Minshew came in and had like 3 or 4 turnovers himself, so pretty bad game for Gardner Minshew, and now he has to be the quarterback going forward. They don't have another option. They signed Desmond Ridder, so maybe he's another backup quarterback, but he's not going to be any better than Gardner Minshew for them. So if Gardner Minshew is going to suck like he did this week and he hasn't played great at all season, this Raiders team is certainly not going to be that good. Next up is going to be the New England Patriots at 28. So they lost this week 32-16 versus the Jaguars, but Drake May played pretty good. He's been looking solid in his first 2 weeks. So they do have some upside with their quarterback. That's why they're going to be higher than some of these other teams who you could argue are playing better than them. It's just that I believe in Drake May, to go out and have a game-winning performance because he's had 2 pretty good games back-to-back to start his career. Number 27 is going to be the Cleveland Browns. So they lost this week 21-14 versus the Bengals. They lost their starting quarterback, Deshaun Watson, for the season. Their backup in this game was Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He also got injured. But Jameis Winston came in and played better than all of them. So Jameis Winston being the starter now going forward gives me a little bit of hope for this Cleveland Browns team. He played solid when he came in. Nick Chubb is back. Hopefully he gets more touches here in the coming weeks. But with Jameis Winston under center, I have a little bit of hope for this Browns team to be competitive going forward. Next up is the Saints at 26. They lost 33-10 versus the Broncos. A bunch of injuries for them. Paulson Adebo, a corner for them, is now injured for the season. They said Chris Olave is probable to return this week, though, so that should help their offense. Taysom Hill is questionable. He has not played in a while. Derek Carr still listed as doubtful, so he'll probably be back in Week 9, but he's still going to be out likely for Week 8, which is certainly going to hurt the Saints because Spencer Rattler has not looked very good. 25 is going to be the Dolphins. They had a bye this week, I think. Am I correct? Or am I stupid? Dolphins. Oh, no, they had a bye last week. Sorry, my bad. So this week, the Dolphins lost 16-10 versus the Colts. Not a bad game for their defense, of course. Their offense putting up 10 points is pretty pathetic. but they are most likely getting Tua back this week. If they get Tua back, they should be good on offense again and be able to win some games. If they do not get Tua back this week, it's likely going to be Tim Boyle starting, which is not going to be very good for them. And so if he's not back, they're going to be pretty low on this ranking. If Tua's back and plays good, they could easily move up quite a bit of spots next week. Number 24, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So they had a good game this week, 32-16 win versus the New England Patriots. Travis Etienne is questionable to return. He missed last week. I don't know if he's missed the game before that as well. But Tank Bigsby has looked really, really good in his relief. But if they get Etienne back, that's going to be a very deadly 1-2 running back punch there. The Rams here at number 23. They had a decent win, 20-15 dub over the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are not a good team, and they only beat them by 5. That's a little bit concerning, but the Rams have a lot of injury issues of their own. They're not starting to get healthy this week, but they're definitely trending toward being a lot healthier coming weeks 9 and weeks 10. But they've also had talks of trading Cooper Kupp. They've had talks of trading Matthew Stafford as well. So this team very well might just be trading away any of their good pieces they still have left, and then they're going to end up towards the bottom of this list if they do that. Number 22 is going to be the New York Jets. This was not a good week for them. They traded for Davante Adams. They were supposed to be good this week. They lost 37-15 versus the Steelers. Russell Wilson absolutely lit them up. Davante Adams had 3 catches for 30 yards. So far, he does not really made any difference for this Jets offense. They did make a deal with Hassan Reddick, so they're going to add him back to their defense now, which might help them out a little bit. But at this point, you're already 2-5. They're going to have to win probably 8 of their last 10 games to make the playoffs, which is a very, very tall task for anybody, especially this team that has not played good really at all in the first 7 games of the season. Next up is the Colts at 21. They won this week 16-10 over the Miami Dolphins. Anthony Richardson did play in this game. His passing statistics were pretty bad, but they did get the win. I would like to see Joe Flacco potentially start over Anthony Richardson because he has done a lot better with his team. And I think he has a higher floor right now than Anthony Richardson does, but I'm not upset with starting Anthony Richardson because you don't necessarily care to make the playoffs this year. If you're the Colts, you kind of want to see some progression from Anthony Richardson. Number 20 here is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. They lost this week 17-15 versus the Arizona Cardinals. They had a pretty good game. They kind of blew it at the end. They had a touchdown, a potential touchdown where they were running, got the ball stripped right before the end zone, and it went out of bounds as a touchback for the Cardinals. So that definitely changed the course of this game. Number 19 here is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. They were on bye this week. They dropped 2 spots because some of the teams right below them kind of won, so I got to move them down just a couple of spots. Next up is the Broncos here at number 18. They were number 22, so they moved up quite a bit. They had a really good win, 33-10 over the New Orleans Saints. Very good game from their offense and their defense as a whole as well. I do think this Broncos team is looking really solid right now. Number 17 is going to be the Arizona Cardinals. They had a good 17-15 win versus the Chargers. They had a game-winning field goal by I forget who they just signed, but I'm pretty sure this was his first or second game with the team, and he hit a game-winning kick. So that was really good for them. And their defense, again, had that strip right towards the end zone for the Chargers, which prevented a touchdown. So that was a key play, and the Cardinals have looked pretty solid to start the season. Next up is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to drop 6 spots here. They lost 41-31 versus the Ravens. Not a bad loss on paper, but they were down 34-10. And they also lost Godwin for the season and Mike Evans for multiple weeks. So right now, I have to drop them quite a bit of spots. I do not have a whole lot of faith in this team if they do not have some other receivers that can step up for them. Next up is the Niners. Similar situation. They lost 28-18 versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Brandon Ayuk, though, is now injured for the season. Deebo Samuel apparently has pneumonia or something. He's doubtful to play this week. George Kittle is questionable to return. He did not play the week 8. So if he plays this week, that's going to help him out a little bit. But their top 2 receivers being out, Brandon Ayuk being out for the whole season, certainly is a cause for concern for this Niners team. They easily could drop more spots as well if they do not have other guys that step up for them this week. Number 14 is going to be the Bengals. They had a good game. They won 21-14 versus the Browns. A 7-point win versus the Browns does not look very good, especially because they started the game off with a kick return touchdown to make it 7-0 right away. And then they basically tied the rest of the game 14-14. But hey, they got the job done, so I'm not going to really hurt them. They move up one spot for me. Number 13, the Chicago Bears. They were on bye this week. They get the luxury of moving up one spot because some teams right above them just happened to lose. Next up is the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to actually drop 4 spots here. They did not have a very good game. I believe Kirk Cousins had like 3 turnovers here this week. Obviously, not a great look. They lost 34-14 versus the Seattle Seahawks. They were a favorite. They were a pretty big favorite, and they lost by 20 points. Not a good look for them. Number 11 is going to be the Seattle Seahawks, who beat them by 20 points. The Seahawks started the season off 3-0, then lost 3 straight games, but then they just had a dominant victory over the Atlanta Falcons, so that is going to move them up quite a bit of spots here in my ranking. Next up is going to be the Houston Texans. They're going to drop 4 spots. They had a close loss, 24-22 versus the Packers. They blew the game at the end. CJ Stroud played absolutely atrocious in this game, but that being said, I still think they're one of the best teams in the league. Top 10 for sure. I do not want to drop them any more than this. They still have played very, very well all season long. Number 9 is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles at 4-2. They had a good win this week against the New York Giants, 28-3. They benched their starters for most of the fourth quarter. Really good game here on both sides of the ball for Philadelphia. Number 8 is going to be Green Bay. They move up one spot after their 24-22 win over the Houston Texans. Game-winning field goal by Brandon McManus in his first game with the Chargers. He was really good. This team, Jordan Love, I believe, had 3 touchdowns to 2 picks, so he kind of does that a lot. He does good on offense, gets some touchdowns, but he also has some bad interceptions. But still, pretty good game overall here for the Packers. Number 7, Pittsburgh Steelers here. They're 5-2. They had a dominant win this week against the New York Jets, 37-15. Russell Wilson, I did not approve. I did not, like the idea of starting Russell Wilson over Justin Fields, but Mike Tomlin apparently knows what he's doing. They absolutely dominated the Jets here, 37-15. Russell Wilson looked really good, had some really good connections to George Pickens, and if this offense can be sparked with Russell Wilson, they should be even better than they were with Justin Fields, and right now they're easily a top 10 team. Number 6 is going to be the Washington Commanders. A really good win, 40-7 versus the Panthers, with Marcus Mariota being the quarterback for the majority of the game, and he played really, really well. Now he is playing quite possibly the worst team of all time in the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are on pace to allow the most points per game out of any team in NFL history. But with that being said, he still played very, very well. So I do have good faith that he's going to he probably has to start here in week 8, potentially week 9 as well. But I do think he'll do enough to hold this down and still have a really good Commanders team with Marcus Mariota. Number 5 is going to be the Minnesota Vikings. They dropped 3 spots here. They had a good game this week. They lost 31-29 versus the Lions. So a 2-point loss versus, again, a really, really good team in the Detroit Lions. Only drops them a few spots. They're easily a top 5 team right now. And they are potentially getting TJ Hawkinson back for the first time all season this week, which could help their offense even more. Number 4 here is going to be the Buffalo Bills. They jump up one spot here after destroying the Titans 34-10. A very good game for Josh Allen, very good game for Keon Coleman. I believe he had like 125 yards, so that was really good for the rookie to have a really good game. Amari Cooper looked solid. He caught a touchdown in his first game with Buffalo. This team is certainly one of the best in the league. Number 3 is going to be the Detroit Lions. They jump up one spot, after beating the Vikings 31-29. Again, the Vikings were undefeated. Lions played a really good game and are now currently the number 1 seed in the NFC. Number 2 is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. They jump up one spot here after beating the Bucks 41-31. 10-point win again on paper looks good in itself, but they were dominating them. They were up 34-10 going into the fourth quarter. Their defense kind of collapsed here in the late in the game. They let up an onside kick. Their offense turned it over, but still really good game from both sides of the ball. Lamar Jackson had 5 touchdowns. Derrick Henry had nearly 100 and hit over 150 total yards of offense. Great game from the Ravens. Number 1 is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. They won 28-18 versus the Niners. They're undefeated, obviously. Patrick Mahomes was not good in this game, but still found a way to win. They're undefeated, and they just traded for DeAndre Hopkins. Their offense has not been very good all year. DeAndre Hopkins has not been very good all year. But I do think combining them together, Mahomes and DeAndre Hopkins, will fix a majority of both of their problems right now, and make this Chiefs team even better. When you're making an undefeated team even better, it's kind of scary for the rest of the league. Next up will be my predictions here. Last week I went 11-4 to give me a 69-38 season record. I think that's pretty solid here. I'm gonna move out of the way so you guys can kind of see this. But my lock of the week last week and my upset of the week both hit. This week I got the Vikings over the Rams. That should be easy. Lions over Titans should be easy. Packers over Jags should be easy. Ravens over Browns should be easy. Texans over Colts should be easy. Jets over Patriots. I could see the Patriots pulling an upset, but I'm taking the Jets here. Bengals Eagles should be a very very fun game here. Gonna take the Bengals though. Falcons Bucks. Bucks have a lot of injuries on offense, so I'm taking the Falcons there. Cardinals Dolphins. This depends on if Tua is going to play. If Tua plays, I'm taking the Dolphins. If Tua does not play, I'm gonna obviously take the Cardinals. Bills Seahawks. Seahawks looked really good this week, but the Bills have been dominant all season. I'm going to take the Bills. Chargers Saints should be pretty easy. The Saints have too many injuries to keep up with the Chargers. Chiefs Raiders should be easy. If the Chiefs lose to Gardner Minshew, that would kind of be sad. Broncos Panthers. Panthers are pretty bad, so it should be fairly easy. But Bryce Young, in his first game back from being benched, I could see a world where he does end up winning this game. Bears, Commanders. Commanders, if Jaden Daniels does not play, I really don't feel confident in them winning. And right now it looks very likely that he is not going to play. So I'm taking the Bears there. Cowboys, Niners. Niners have so many offensive injuries. I'm going to take the Cowboys here as my upset of the week. And then Steelers over Giants again. That one should be fairly easy. That is going to be it for the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check back next week for an updated power rankings list, and goodbye.